Hello and welcome to VLearn Virtual Learning Network. This is session 24 of Administrative Theory Delegation. Topics to be covered: Introduction, Meaning of Delegation, Characteristics of Delegation, Need for Delegation, Type of Delegation, Principle of Delegation, Hindrance to delegation, organizational hindrance, personal hindrance, limits to delegation. Now, in this session, we were actually going to discuss on delegation. If we talk about the delegation, as we from the previous session, we were going to have a discussion on the organization and the parts of its organization, how organization perform. Overall working of the organization is how it is actually performing. We discussed about span of control, having an idea about the delegation hierarchy part, hierarchy structure. So now this session is giving us the idea about the delegation. As from the previous sessions, we got the idea that hierarchy is one of the important understanding of the organization. It basically gives us the structure and the overall working of the organization, that what exactly the structure of the organization. So in that case, yes, again the related topic is delegation. Delegation is the formal flow of your authorities and responsibilities. It is basically gives us the idea about the overall flow of authority in the organization. If we have employees in the organization, it always required to delegate work to them. This is basically to providing them a flow, providing them the overall procedure to let their work go in the organization. So this is what, without any hurdles, without any delay, when the work is passed on to one person to another person, that is related to delegation. This is an era of a large-scale organization. As a number of large-scale organization is increasing day by day, the need of delegation has tremendously increased. In a small-scale organization, the heads may be able to run the organization effectively by keeping all the powers with himself. In large-scale organization, the head may formally keep with himself all the powers relating to operating of the organization. By keeping in view the need of efficiency, he is required to delegate his authority to the subordinate. Yes, delegation is mainly done when there was in a large organization. Large organization is always required to pass on their work, to delegate their work to their subordinate, just to bringing out the effective running of the organization, effective movement of the organization. The power itself flowed very smoothly and easily. For that, we require delegation. In that case, yes, this is always required that the person working in the organization perform as to keep in the mind to bring out the efficiency and then delegate the work properly. Meaning of delegation. Delegation is basically a grant or the conferment of authority by a superior to the subordinate for the accomplishment of the particular assignment. So this is what basically the delegation is. Delegation is something when the person grants something to the another person. In the organizational manner, we can state that delegation is grant authority to subordinate. That means superior taken a step to delegate the powers and delegates the authority to subordinates. Conferring of a specific authority by a higher to the lower authority. It is basically devotion of the authority by a person to his agent or subordinate, subject to his rights to the supervision and control. It implies that illegal delegated authority still belongs to the delegator or the person who delegates, but in a particular, its exercise is allowed to subordinate or the agents. Delegation can be downward, upward and sideward. Yes, it is generally a movement of the authority. It is It is always there to just to give the person of the authority, grant the power, grant the authority. So that subordinate can get an order from all these ways, or we can say that the superior can pass this authority in downward sense, or upward sense, or sideward. Delegation is basically downward when the higher authority delegates to the lower authority, as in a sales manager delegates to the salesman. That is the downward. When the higher authority, the ultimate higher authority, gets in the powers and authority by the lowest one. So that comes into the downward. Normal general flow of delegation, that is from downward. This is what we can take the example that ultimate superior straight away delegate the work to their ultimate subordinate. So that comes into the downward. Upward is when the lower authority delegates to the higher authority, as a shareholder delegate their authority to the board of directors. So this is again a kind of authority delegation. That is what again lower level is delegating to the upper level or the higher level. In that case, like shareholders, like the person who have a stake in the organization, they delegate the work to their higher authority, that is board of director, to perform certain works. So in that case, this is upward delegation of authority. Another is sideward. This is what the another kind of. The downward and upward is very obvious. We can see generally in the organization. Now sideward. When the delegation is at an equal level, as in the case of person delegating his peer in the organization, this is sideward. That is very similar. When the person, suppose one subordinate is looking for a leave, in that case they delegate his one day work to his peer groups or the person sitting next to him. So in that case, this is what sideward delegation. That person is delegating his roles and responsibilities to the other person. Therefore, delegation can be defined as the entrustment of a part of a work and responsibility and authority to another, and creations of accountability for their performance. Now, what are the characteristics of delegation? Delegation is authorization to the subordinate or another organizational unit to act in a certain way independently. So, delegation is basically authorization when the person passes on to the authorities. So, delegates has to act within the limits prescribed by the delegator. Delegation basically have a dual characters. One is superior or the delegator delegate the authority to the subordinate, but at the same time retain the authority also. So it has been rightly observed that it is something like imparting the knowledge you share with other, who then process the knowledge but you still retain the knowledge too. That is dual characters. This is what the dual thing or the dual characters in the delegation. That person is delegating the work to their subordinate, but at the same time he is keeping with it. So that comes into the delegation. Delegation is basically, yes, that is not completely passed on. It is, yes, passing of your authorities to the subordinate, but it is not completely. Delegation implies the delegation of authority. Delegator does not delegate his entire authority to his subordinate. That is again the same thing, partial. That is, you are not going to subordinate or delegate all the authorities to your subordinates. No, it is partial, always. So he cannot exercise the power to supervise and control. So that is why delegation is subject to the specific and limit terms. As another characteristic is, authority once delegated is subject to the variance also. That means if it's delegated, then it is what decided by the superior that it would be enhanced, reduced or withdrawn. Now, what are needs of delegation? What exactly, why we need the delegation? In the need of delegation, yes, the first is universal phenomena. The first thing is volume of work. If volume of work is increased, if volume of work is very high, so the superior are unable to get in a workload, they require another person to perform with them. In that case, they required the delegation. So in that case, increasing volume of a work required that there should be some sort of delegation It becomes difficult for the head of an organization to keep all the workload to himself. If he does like this, the work is sure to suffer. In that case, there will be neither efficiency nor economy. So there is division of labor, often accompanied by the increased stipulation. They are identifying often a task which can be performed satisfactorily by the others. That is the very true thing, that higher, or we can say the load of the person goes up to perform that particular task. In that case, yes, their delegation must be there. If delegation is not there, that means that person is not willing to or don't have a trust on the subordinate. That is why he is not passing on that delegation and that authority to the subordinate. In that also, the organization is going to suffer a lot, because they are neither be an efficiency nor economical part. So the identification of the task would be there, which can be performed satisfactorily. Complexity. If organization structure is very complex, and yes, at the same time, the complexities in rules, regulations, techniques, flows, these are very high. To minimize that complexity, delegation is used. That is, to delegate your work, then it can be used. So in that case, operational procedure of organization have become more and more complex. So complexity will lead to add up the more problems in the organization. When these more problems added on, it will actually gives the delegation of thinking and formulation of the plans to staff specialists, to ultimate power or to approve the plans. Another is save time for the policy formulations and planning. When the executive heads always need more and more time for planning and policy formulation, if he remains busy with the minor details, he would never be able to devote much time to planning of the decision making. Yes, safe timing. That is what, if the higher authorities is always busy in the day-to-day operations, day-to-day plannings, that what is going to be done, how we will going to perform these things. If they will indulge in these part, they will never be able to perform the work effectively. So in that sense, they are going to save the time. So delegation of work, always they help them to save the time, because they can delegate their work to their subordinate and perform other tasks also. Then educated values. Yes, major duties of management is to train the subordinate. In that case, that is while sharing and making the decisions, sharing the responsibilities, that will lead to educate the values of the organization with subordinate. That is what, giving the opportunity to subordinate to get trained and become one of the major part of the organization. Then management development. Management development is the process of delegation, is basically what it provides the managerial development training and help in creation of managerial class of subordinates. So the executive at a very different level can take decisions and actions on many virtual issues on their own. So in that case, they develop a sense of taking initiative to face the challenges. So this kind of attitude could be developed. Manage the proper development. In this way, delegation provide the ample scope to self-advancement and self-expressions, to make the employees innovative, to bring out the change in it, to develop their concept. For that, yes, management of development is very important, and it brings the self-advancement and self-expressions of the organization. Then other need of delegation is to bring flexibility in the organization. That is very true, as we already discussed. To simplify the complexity in the organization, we always require delegation, because this delegation always lead to provide the flexibility in the organization. The rigidness in an organization is always harmful. It proves as an obstacle in the work. To bring flexibility in the organization, delegation is very essential. Delegation remove rigidity and help in acting according with the change in the situation. So we always required for that scenario, delegation is required. Geographical disparitions was always there. Suppose the large organizations use delegation. The head office of the organization is in the other area, but the performing area is on the another location. In that case, there is only a delegations who lead the organization to perform well, because in two different areas organization is performing, and both the divisions like head office and the main manufacturing area is important for the organization. So that is what this difference is covered by the geographical discrepancy. So the delegation and decentralization of authority helps to manage effectively diversified and dispersed business. The branches and the units of large organization bring away from the head office need delegations of authority. Economy and efficiency. Delegation of authority always help in division of labor, essentially for the discharge of duties effectively. Delegation minimize the delays and make the organization to act more effectively. That is again a one part to bringing out the effectiveness in the organization. Another is help in successor. Yes, delegation always leads to bringing out the good relationship between the subordinates and superior. They actually given a path to be a successor. That is teamwork. They lead to perform the teamwork and be on the success path. Now, the types of delegation. Delegation could be permanent and temporary delegation. In the case of permanent, when power is delegated, it's subjected to that it is fixed with that power. We can say that if the one person is shifted to the position in the good position, that called have the permanent delegation. Temporary delegation is what that the organization got some task or the project to be performed. In that project, the person is going to have a certain roles to be performed, certain powers to be performed. So that's comes into temporary delegation. Delegation would be full or partial also. Full is what when the person got all the powers related to the work which is performed. That comes into the full delegation. Another is partial delegation. It is always that it has been approved by the delegation authority. Whatever the work subordinate going to be performed, it is always approved by the ultimate authority. That is partial delegation. Delegation also conditional and unconditional. Condition is what when some condition was opposed on it. If this is for example that employee got work to be performed, in that they have to perform in that way if this thing has happened. So in that case, this is what the conditional, that we put in a certain condition on it. At the same time, unconditional is when there was a free, subordinate is always free to act. There was no condition and he or she is free to perform all the works. So that comes into conditional and unconditional. Then formal and informal. Delegation is also formal. When embodied in the written rule, then it's formal. Like as we already take an example, that is if the person get the delegation by their position. So this is formal. It's written. Informal is what? When it's get by the conversation. So that's comes into informal delegation. Then delegation could be direct or indirect. When no intermediary is involved, this is direct. Indirect is when third party is involved, this is indirect. Now what are the principles of delegations? In principles of delegation should be done in a clear manner. There should be no ambiguity. There should be no changes. There should be no differences. So बहुत clear manner में delegation होनी चाहिए. Delegation must know exactly how much authority has been delegated. कितनी authority और कैसे delegate हुई है, that person must know about this. Authority is delegated to get the certain result by performing particular activity. At the same time, go co-equal. That means when you are delegating, delegate all the authorities and responsibilities both. Total responsibility of superior should be delegated. Delegation is also based on The principle of unity of command was there. That implies that subordinate should be responsible to the single superior only. So unity of command is also applied on the delegation. Delegation is basically a communication open. That is, subordinate should allow to meet and consult the administrator also. At the same time, delegation should be succeeded by the appraisals. It should be that delegation is must be provided by the appraisals also. Properly planned and systematic work could be there. Now, what are the hindrances of delegation? In hindrance of delegation, no doubt hindrance is always there. There are two kinds of hindrance. One is organizational, one is personal. In organizational hindrance, yes, when person feels lack of established method and procedures. If there in organization there is no proper procedure, there is no proper method to perform the certain task. So automatically it is lead to the hindrance in a delegation. Delegation never be in a proper manner because method is not there. Another is lack of coordination and communication. That is what the coordination is not proper or the task communication is not there. Proper scope of communication is not there. What work is going to be delegated and how it is going to be performed, these things are never be cleared. Then unstable and non-repetitive nature of the work. If work is not stable, in that case unambiguity is very high. There was in a very high changes in the organization, so that comes into the another hindrance. Lack of we can say that size and locations of the organization is again a thing which matter and provide the hindrance. If there was a large organization required delegation, so probably yes, they have to be more careful because they are getting a higher level of delegations of the work. And yes, at the same time in the location wise also, if the location are very far, geographical reasons are added up, so in that case it leads to the another working. Then lack of properly spelled out positions, that is unspecified terms of delegation of duties and authorities. If we talk about personal hindrance, that the person who rise to the position of hierarchical leadership have more than normal egotism. That is what when the person is actually facing the difficulties, so that comes into the normal egotism, that he is not able to or he don't want to perform. Then other is they are afraid that other not make proper decisions. So in that case also they are unable to perform well. And then strong and vigorous and highly motivated person become impatient with the slower pace also. So that will again lead to the one of the hindrance. Then other is that political considerations would be there or the emotional maturity would be there. These all are personal hindrance. Then limits to delegation, yes, supervision of work on the first line method, this is limitation. Not specific amount of power delegate nahi ki jati hai, this is again a limitation. Then yes, new policies and new plans are established, that is again a limitation. Then make a powerful West delegation officers, they are not able to delegate it, this is again a rule. Then making specified higher appointments or takes the immediate, at least immediate subordinate. So that is what comes all the limitations of delegations. There are few questions which you have to perform it by yourself. First is define the delegation, give 3 characteristics of delegation, explain any 3 principles of delegation and what are the hindrances to delegation. So this is all about for the today's session. We are winding up here. Thank you so much. Happy learning.